fight for you, but he's rolling the dice, but he does it against the best in the division. You know, he does it against the IBF champion, the Ring Magazine champion, and in one fight, Jordan Thompson can really go from very little resume at world class to the main man in the division. But Opatai looks like an absolute lunatic, to be honest with you. I mean, he scares the life out of me. But Jordan's mentally solid, sound, like ready for the fight. And I love the fight. I think it's a really electric world title fight, and yeah, looking forward to it.
And there's a lot of young talent on the display. You know, it's very difficult to put into words what it means to these young fighters fighting with the potential IBF world champion. So, how do you think it brings on people like George Lizard, Maisie Rose, and others?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you sign a fighter, you have an obligation to take them on that journey. It's very expensive, actually. I don't like to talk about money, but when you decide to sign a fighter, and you need young talent, but when you decide to sign a fighter, you have to be willing to invest in them, to give them the opportunities to progress. We do that better than anyone, in my opinion. And I think when you look at George Liddard, you look at Maisie Rose Courtney, particularly Jimmy Sains as well, who's debuting on Saturday, you make that investment over kids that you think are going to go on and have the potential to go on and become a world champion. And obviously if they're popular and they sell tickets as well, fantastic. But you know, I think you're in a position there where those three, particularly from the same gym, very exciting. Jimmy Sains is going to be a big crowd pleaser, a huge puncher. You know, you've seen that in the amateurs. He's been knocking people out, like rendering them unconscious in the amateurs. So when he gets those small gloves on, he's going to be a real danger and a real threat. And you know, it's one of my most pleasing missions as a promoter is to take the young fighters to world championships. I mean, if you look at the likes of Coley, Charlie Edwards, Callum Smith, AJ, Katie Taylor, you know, all these fighters, Eddie Scottney, that turn pro with us, and you take them on that journey to world title. That's the most exciting and pleasing part of the job.
So going on a bit further, so Matchroom's schedule is completely off the chart. I mean, over the next few months, right the way up to Christmas, you're not staying still for more than 5 seconds. Level with us here. You've got a secret business going on in the background, haven't you? A parcel delivery, because it must be going all up the road.
Yeah, I mean, we're very lucky to be doing shows internationally. Like, and I know that sometimes you get a bit of stick, global this, but that's the vision. You know, we've been promoting for a long time in the UK, but no promoter has ever gone global and promoted shows internationally on a regular basis as part of the schedule. So for me, you know, I look at it and say, I can't believe we're doing regular shows in America, Mexico, Monaco, Australia, Italy, Japan deal just done as well, you know. So, like, I think that's a blessing. And people say about the travel and stuff like that, but what a job. I mean, when you love boxing, like, you're going from show to show every week, and I want every show to be the best it can be. Some shows are amazing, some shows are average, but we will have a show in general every week, and we're doing it around the world.
Just last question. How does that affect family life from a personal point of view? Because it must be really, really tough to be away a lot.
Yeah, I think as a kid I had the same thing. Do you know what I mean? So I think my kids have always just experienced that. I've never really been around that much, but it's kind of accepted. Like my dad was never around, but I never feel like, even now I'm at 44, I never look back and go, my dad weren't around a lot, because when he was around, he was all action. Do you know what I mean? He would get back after being in the Far East for 3 weeks on a snooker tour, and he would play with me for 3 or 4 hours in the garden. And that, you know, so I just think when you're around it, it just becomes expected. But the harder thing is trying to put in the quality time when you get back and get home, when you're knackered. Do you know what I mean? And that's when you get back. Especially now I've got a 13-year-old daughter, and it's like so painful. And it's like, you know, I get back from 2 weeks away. Bella! What? You know, have you seen Kevin and Perry? You know that thing? What? How are you? Yeah, I'm good. What do you want? I haven't seen you for 2 weeks. I know. Go away, I'm on the phone. Okay.
The government wants us to save energy, and the kids are
Yeah. So, but the hardest thing, like you say, is like, you get back and you want to spoil them and you want to take them out, and you know, family is important. So, but also you have to be really selfish, and you have to be a bit of an arsehole if you want to be the best at what. I know, but if you want to be the best at whatever you want to do, you have to make sacrifices that people have to understand. Like, that's just the reality. And if they don't understand it, then there's a conversation to have to say, but I'm passionate about this, and you need people to understand. And hopefully, when you talk about kids and stuff like that, they will understand. Like, I understand that my dad changed his life and our family's life by making those sacrifices. I'm okay with it. Do you know what I mean? Just hope that my kids feel the same way.
Eddie, are you sick of getting flack for the whole Conor Ben situation?
I feel like it's a little bit disappointing because I don't feel like everybody gets treated in the same way. Do you know what I mean? And also, I'm not saying that I'm concerned about other people you don't hear stuff on, but other fighters have failed drug tests. I've not seen one report on it. I've not seen one interview on it. And I know that Conor's high profile and he's probably not done everything completely right. But it has been over a year now of everyday conversations about Conor Ben. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and the thing that annoys me most is Conor Ben went through the UCAD the hearing. When I don't, I'm not saying he shouldn't have, but he did, and won. Like, whatever way you want to look at it, he won that case. But that's not even really been acknowledged. It's just like, yeah, but he hasn't cleared his name, has he? Yeah, but he went through the process, and he did everything that was asked of him, and he won. Can't not acknowledge that. So, yes, is the answer to your question.
Yeah, obviously, I see it on Talk Sport and everything. Everyone brings you up and what's going on here?
Eddie Hearn. What are the rumours that there might be fight bonuses for the performance of the night for this weekend?
This weekend, or what about your show?
Well, I'm going to win that. That's why I'm trying to get him in place.
Yeah, what do you think about performance of it?
Can we talk about that? I'll sit down.
Knockout of the week.
Do you know what, yeah? Do you know why, yeah? Whilst I'm on iFilm, yeah? Or your mate Coogan, I feel like, the problem that you have sometimes with fighters like me, yeah, that when they're 8 rounds up thinking, I'm just going to get to the final belt. If you had like a little 10,000, an extra bonus.
To win by stoppage?
Not just for me, I mean like the best stoppage,
I've got a better question.
Okay.
What do you think about WBC open scoring?
I like
After
open
4
scoring.
and 8 rounds, you get to find out the scores of the fight.
We had that when Florian beat the Mexican kid, and it was quite good because it lets you know where everything's at, and then you got 4 rounds to work on that. I like it. I like open scoring, and I think it will hold the judges a lot more accountable, and we'd probably stop seeing as many decisions like McCaskill, Sandy Ryan. I genuinely believe so. I think more. If the judges know,
He's a rookie, isn't he?
No, but I don't know how good your mic is, because some of these look at these ones, or these other channels, they can hold it from there and get on by. So I don't know what's going on with your shoddy setup. But I feel like if all the judges had to get their scores at 4 and 8, read out, this judge has 4 rounds to none, but the other person just got battered, it'd probably stop the judges as well being as bad as some of the scorecards, I think. What do you think, Eddie? Don't you think? Because the thing is,
I think, are you not tired of talking this week? You have done more media in the last week than any other fighter on the planet.
that's how I'm making the most of my position in the sport right now, and I feel like I'm, sat next to the best promoter in the world, as one of the best fighters in the world, about to fight in one of the best fights in the world. So I think I've got to maximise. If you want, I'll be like bam, and I'll just go back to Sheffield.
Yeah. No, you're alright, son. You coming on Saturday?
Yeah, I've got ringside tickets next week.
Probably commentating as well.
Oh, if you want me to.
Yeah.
I mean,
you are a very good commentator.
I am free on
Very
this.
good commentator.
And I did also say to the people behind the scenes, because I've been looked after so well this week, that anything, commentary before the whatever, I'll do pro bono this week.
Yeah?
Only this week.
Well, you're 100% working.
There we go then. Exclusive. I want the main event though. Because
Okay. Shall I
that's
finish
how I
these
get-
interviews? Or?
You still
we're
didn't
gonna
answer
go.
your question
Okay.
about 10
You
grand.
go, I'll catch you boys in a
Sonny,
minute.
you still didn't answer your question about the 10 grand thing.
10 grand. I see how good he is. You see how good he is. I don't need one off Eddie. I don't need a Rolex because the purses he pays.
Undisputed Rolex, 100%.
But like a proper good one, or just a shitty like
This
10
is
10
you
grand.
lot fucking make me laugh. When I say I buy you a Rolex, they all come. I want the Sky Dweller, it's 45 grand.
I'm joking.
You know.
I'm joking. I only got little wrists. You get girls one.
All right, yeah. They're the same price, Sonny. Right, sorry.
Sorry about that. back. So like, we got upside Thompson this weekend. So how you feel your chance of your guy this weekend?
I think it's a really tough fight, but I like the fact that 1, he has tremendous punch power, 2, he has great speed, 3, he's a great athlete, 4, he's a huge cruiserweight. So on the whole, I think if you're going to be in a fight that's before your time or slightly above your levels, fighters in fights in the past, probably when I was a little bit green, where you kind of think, how actually was he going to win that fight? Do you know what I mean? Jordan Thompson can knock Joe Apatow out, unquestionably. He can knock anybody out. So you've got a chance in the fight, but you've always got to have a chance in the fight. And I've been impressed with the way that he has handled the whole situation. I think he's mentally very strong, and I think he's got a chance in the fight. But he's a big underdog because Joe Apatow is the number one in the division.
Obviously, moving quickly on to the heavyweight division. Any more movement on the Wilder AJ fight?
No, not really. I mean, you know, we know that fight was supposed to happen in January. We agreed terms for that fight. Unfortunately, the site didn't want to move forward at that time. We wasted a lot of time on that, but it is what it is. Now we're talking to other people about that fight. We're also looking at Las Vegas, etc. But it looks unlikely to happen in January. And if it doesn't happen in January, we have to decide whether AJ fights in December. He's been nice and active. He boxed in April. He boxed in August. So we'll have to see. But he's enjoying the activity. Like right now, you know, when you have the belts, it's like it's a great thing to have, but you get messed around so much. You know, it's like, oh, this mandatory's coming up. You get a letter. It's 28 days of negotiations for this fight. Then you get a purse bid. You've got 28 days to the purse bid. Then you do a deal with a day to go. And it's like, before you know it, you've had like 4 months of conversations and negotiations where with no belts you can fight whoever you want. And I think he's enjoying that. We chased undisputed for so long. And I don't say I regret it, because I think every fighter should chase undisputed, but it really did slow down his momentum. And I think he just wants to stay active.
So, you were saying that, is there any movement on like Zhang fighting?
Yeah, I think we don't have a problem with a Zhang fight. Also makes me laugh about AJ, where people, he wouldn't fight Zhang. Fuck me. I mean, look at his resume. Like, I don't understand all of a sudden people thought, you think AJ, like, I mean, we had Zhilei Zhang for 4, 5, 6 fights. Good heavyweight, slow feet, can whack, not got the best engine, southpaw, but good fighter. Come on. Like, he beat Joe Joyce. Yeah? I think the better performance, although he weren't at the races, was Filip Hrgović. That was a close fight. But again, you've got to give Zhang respect. He had a close fight with Hrgović, he lost, and then he beat Joe Joyce. But I keep saying, these heavyweights, Joe Joyce has never beaten an elite heavyweight. Elite heavyweight. He's beaten Daniel Dubois for the British title, and he beat a faded Joseph Parker. That's it. So you can't say, and people say, oh, he beats this, he beats him, he does this, he does that. How do you know? Deontay Wilder, never beaten an elite heavyweight, ever. That's what makes me laugh about the AJ fight. I know he's dangerous, I know he can punch, but you're ruling out guys who have been there and done it and beaten them all. Like, and now all of a sudden, Zhilei Zhang's the guy who beats everyone without ever beating an elite heavyweight. Do you know what I mean? So, like, and even Tyson Fury. You know, don't get me wrong, Vladimir Klitschko performance, unbelievable. He beat Wilder. You know, but his resume is much better than Deontay Wilder's and Zhilei Zhang and Joe Joyce. But all of a sudden, Joe Joyce is this machine. And he gets knocked out and everyone goes, can't believe it, wow. What made you go, wow? He has never, you know, and Zhang's not, I mean, I think to be elite, you have to be in the top 5 of the division.
That's one for me.
Well, fucking what, you want me to, you know, you wanted all this time with me, now you got me, now you're the last one from me. Go on, Eric. Go on, hurry up, what do you want then?
That's one for me. I'll get you. I'm from a nugget, yeah?
We blame his media team.
That's one for me. Obviously, I'm from Birmingham. All Birmingham people want to know, when you back up to Birmingham?
Soon, I mean, look, Galal Yafai will probably fight on the BAM Sonny Edwards undercard now, because I think that's the right spot for him, and then probably sort of first quarter of next year. One thing, you never really sell a lot of tickets in Birmingham at the gate, but you do from the fighters, and last time the fighters sold loads and loads of tickets, so probably first quarter of 2024.
Cheers, Eddie. It's Dave Johan, Punch Out Boxing. I'm from Derby, Sandy Ryan.
Yes.
I was shocked. I was annoyed as a Derby lad as well. How shocked were you and annoyed?
Yeah, I was particularly shocked when the 97, 93 come in. I mean, I was talking to everyone at ringside, and the general feeling was 98, 92, 97, 93, something like that. So when I got the first card, like, the problem is sometimes with the 2-minute rounds is a lot of the fights are difficult to score. But let's be honest, like, you'd really struggle to give Jessica McCaskill 4 rounds in that fight. And that's Yeah, and we like Jess, you know, and it's difficult when you represent both people not to upset someone. But I feel everyone saw the fight. Like, even if Rick Ramos and Jess probably watched the fight back, they might say it was close, but they really know they were lucky to get a draw. So, but it is what it is. I thought Sandy was great, and Jessica boxed well as well. But I did feel like Sandy won the fight, and obviously now we'll be looking to make the rematch.
There's a great stadium opened up as well in Derby, Moorway Stadium. When can we get a matchroom over there? Because we've got a world champion now. It'd be great to get the matchroom stable over there yourself, and visiting a few local gyms as well. I know making this really centralised to Derby, but I'm quite passionate about it.
Yeah, I think that when you come off a controversial event like that, there is appetite for the fight, and this might be the time to do it. Whenever you talk about going somewhere, people are, that will sell out, that will do fight for 7,000, 8,000. There really is no proof of that. Do you know what I mean? You have to roll the dice a little bit, but we're prepared to do it. We've done it before, and there hasn't been any major boxing in Derby for years and years, and maybe this is the one to have a go. So we'll see.
I think so. I'll back it.
Good, well, you stick the money out with.
Well, we'll see how much I get paid.
Okay.
But going on to today's presser, Jordan Thompson. Do you see a bit of Jai Thompson in Jordan Thompson? Sorry, Jai in Jordan Thompson when he was challenging Marius Bradis in terms of taking a big step on a big stage, making his name.
Yeah, it's about having the belief, isn't it? And I think Jordan's got the belief, and that's half the task is to believe in yourself. When you have ability, like Jordan does, you've got to believe in yourself. It's very difficult when you haven't performed at that level to know that you're ready till you do it. And as I said, the mental belief, he believes he's ready. And when you've got that belief and the ability that he has, it makes you dangerous. And he's an underdog in the fight, but he punches very, very hard. And he's a great athlete. He's a huge cruiserweight. And I'll give him a real good chance here. And he's a British fighter going for the world title against the best in the division in London. So good luck. And I love Opata. I think he's great. I mean, he's been brilliant this week. Got those crazy eyes.
Is that what scared you?
Fucking just a tough man. When someone looks in the eyes and says, "I'm fucking ready," do you understand me? I was scared. I don't think Jordan. Yeah. But I think he's. I think it's going to be not a. People talk about Jordan needs to keep it long and all this, but Opata will get on his chest. Likes to fight at a fast pace. Likes to wear you down, and that's the challenge for Jordan. He needs to nail him early in this fight.
Brilliant. Thanks, all the best, mate, from Punch-Out Boxing.
Cheers, mate.
Eddie, Eubank Jr for ESPR Boxing. Seen your old mate Oscar De La Hoya in the media last week, once again being critical of Canelo. This time picking out, saying his footwork's pretty much gone. Do you think it's just Oscar trying to stay relevant, or is it a dig at yourself, or why do you think he makes his comments?
It's nothing to do with me. I mean, Canelo's Canelo, but obviously Canelo left Golden Boy, and that has always been very bitter for Oscar De La Hoya. And I think that everyone knows that Canelo doesn't have the quickest feet. That's not his style. He's an unbelievable fighter, but he always had a dig around this time, and he would love it if Canelo lost. Love it, but I don't see it. I think he wins on Saturday.
And we've seen Gary Coley basically self-announcing he'll be back on the Taylor Cameron card. I did see in a previous interview with yourself the Gavin Gwynn fight was a small possibility, but obviously today Queensberry have announced that he'll be fighting for the European title. Would you be looking at the Jose Felix rematch for Gary Coley?
Yeah, it won't be next, but I think he needs that fight. He's got a new team now. He's looking to have a serious fight for that card. I think the Jose Felix fight will come potentially the fight after. But it was a big loss, that, and he needs to come back. He's got a new team now. He's reshuffled a little bit, and looking forward to seeing him back on that card.
And in terms of the Conor Benn, Chris Eubank potential fight towards the end of this year, is there a possibility that could be in the UK? Obviously, I know you're still in discussions, like you say, with the British Boxing Board of Control, but is that likely to be in America?
We'd like it in the UK, and if we can, we'd do that. But we've had a couple of offers to stage that. I don't think the fight will be in America, more likely in the Middle East. But fingers crossed, we can have sensible conversation with the board and make that fight for December 23rd.
I know it's something you've previously been asked on, but what would be ideal for yourself with the AJ situation? Would it be the Wilder fight sort of the back end of this year into the start of next year, or is AJ just prepared to take anyone on sort of within the top 10?
In an ideal world, he would fight Deontay Wilder next. And we would wait. Like, if that fight was signed now for February or March, I think he'd wait. I know he'd wait. But he's also saying, I don't want to, I've been here before. For years and years with the belts, he kind of chased these undisputed fights, etc., etc. And you end up wasting time. Next thing, you're 7, 8 months in between fights. So what he's saying is, try and get that Wilder fight done. If it's not done in the next couple of weeks, let's fight in December. And then we'll fight Wilder in March or April or whenever. So, but if we can get the Wilder fight locked in, happy to wait, and that's the one he wants.
Eddie, thank you very much for your time.